Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna be kind of quiet in this because it's after midnight. Everybody's sleeping, but I just finished a 17-hour straight day from the time I woke up and got out of this bed. It was a nonstop, jam-packed day until right now when I got out of the shower and am about to hit the hay, although I do have some work to do on the computer. So maybe, I guess it'll be an 18-hour straight day, but today was just interesting, so I thought I'd make a little vlog diary, if you will, about it, because I'm not a spiritual person or definitely not a religious person, but I do believe that the universe connects us all, that everything is um, vibrations, everything is in, it has a frequency and motion, right? That's why I'm so passionate about music and audio and the spectrum. Everything's on the spectrum, right? It's visual. Light is a frequency. Um, Audio is a frequency. Subsonic, hence below audio frequencies. Earthquakes are a frequency. Wind, you name it. Everything is energy in motion. Is matter. Atoms moving. Particles moving. That's what makes existence possible, so to speak. Don't want to get too deep into that, but what was interesting was so much happened in like the first 3, 4 hours of my day, but it just kept on going. But what was interesting um, was I, I woke up, let my dogs out, and I was getting ready to hit the road. I was trying to hit the road early because I had to drive through a lot of traffic and, you know, drive about 70 some odd miles. So it was going to be a long day through, busy city traffic. Um, and I didn't get to leave on time. A series of events happened. Baby was crying. Wife was tired. I have to take the baby. I had to take care of the dogs, which is fine. Went to let them out, then was like, I need to feed them. Uh, I think, oh, before that, you know, wife finally came out. I made the bottle for the baby, set hers, all set. Went to go feed the dogs, and we usually leave the dry food out, um, typically without issue, but there was about 1 billion ants in infestation traipsing through the kitchen, across the cabinets, down the cabinet side, to over to the dishes of the dogs, and it was just like, I swear, 1 million, 1 billion, whatever, ton of ants. So I had to, take care of all of that, and was like, oh man, another thing to delay me. It's fine. Baby comes first, misses right after, dogs after that. So I'm like, I'm taking care of everybody else, make sure everybody's all set before I set off and do my thing. Whatever, I can be late. It's not the end of the world. Frustrating, yes. I was sweating before I even left the house. Um, then the wife wanted to eat, but she was, the baby was wanting to sleep, she said, and she wanted to bed. I'm like, you gotta eat. Do you want me to make you something? Yeah, sure. No, no, no. I want to make it the way I want to make. Okay, then I got all the ingredients ready. Got the pan ready for her. Okay, I'll watch the baby. And she cooked, and she ate. I was like, all right, well, I'm leaving after this. Well, where are you going? Well, I have to leave. Oh, I didn't know that was today. Well, but long story short, left super late. As soon as I get on the freeway, the fuel light comes on, and I'm pulling a trailer, driving the truck, and I'm like, I'm already late. okay, well, I gotta get gas, cause and I gotta pick up my buddy on the way. So, and and I was also, I had 10 meetings today. I had 19 phone calls. Um, so, like I said, a jam-packed day. A couple of the meetings were in person. One of the phone calls was to 911, which we'll get to in a minute. So anyway, I get gas, and then while I'm in another meeting, phone call, getting gas, I texted my buddy that I'm going to be late. So he was going to have his wife drop him off by the freeway, so I didn't have to go too far off the freeway to pick him up at his house. So I exit the freeway, and then where I was meeting him was the next, you get off the freeway, it's like you're at a street light, and it's right across the intersection. So it's like right next to the freeway. So I get off, I turn right, I get in there's 4 lanes, 2 left turns, 1 straight, and then 1 right-hand turn. Last time I did this, I got one of the left turn lanes and ended up in the back side of this meeting place. So this time I got the middle lane, go straight across, meet him there, and then, we'll boogie. I'm sitting at the light. I'm the first one at the front of the line. There's cars obviously to my left, both rows, because it's morning traffic. And all of a sudden I hear a screech, and I look to my left and I hear a crunch. I see this car kind of jolt. It was like a Dodge, I don't know, Durango or some like SUV type thing, small SUV or something like that. And I'm like, oh damn, sounded like 2 cars collided. Maybe the guy making a right and somebody else making a left, guy, gal, whatever. Maybe the 2 cars collided. But I was like, something's not right. I see somebody out there. I think it was one of the drivers. They're like looking on the ground. So I inch forward into the crosswalk while the light was red, because I wanted to look over, make sure everything was okay. I look and I see a guy or person, I guess a guy, splayed out on the ground, and I can clearly see blood, and it's not good. So as soon as the light was green, I jetted across, dropped my truck, left it running. So I put my AirPod in, call 911. I get across the street safely while traffic was still going, but watching myself because I don't want to get hit. Safely get over there, and this person has giant laceration, bleeding out the skull. Um, I grabbed there was a pedestrian there, or another driver, somebody that was grabbing a t-shirt or something, and I was like, give that to me. I was an EMT before, so, first on scene, or first responding to the victim or patient, and just immediately applied pressure to his head to, control the bleeding. But there was a pretty gaping hole, pretty big split. I'm pretty sure I could see the skull. I don't know if the skull was split, or assume so, but there was a pool of blood. I didn't have, after the fact or during the fact, I realized I didn't have gloves. Usually I keep nitrile gloves in my car. I used to keep a whole kit because I was EMT in my car, but I've been moving stuff and everything lately, so I don't really have any of that stuff handy. So of course my hands are covered in blood, but I'm like, well, I'm not going to stop pressure because I don't want this person, to lose so much blood that they pass on my watch. So luckily, like I said, I was on the phone with 911. They tried to patch me into the medics while I wait for the fire department or paramedics to arrive. I told them I'm with the patient and told them the situation, and then the fire truck pulled up. They hung up on me, I guess assuming that the fire and ambulance had it. I had to stay there holding pressure for another good 5 minutes, I'd say, or whatever, several minutes. I don't want to give an exact time, but it felt like a good while they, assessed the patient, checked. There was very broken arm, injured knee, all kinds of stuff. Well, those were the main things, but luckily the patient, they were still talking, gave me their name, age. I just kept them talking because, you know, loss of consciousness is not good. Um, you know, keeping the patient alert as can be. They definitely had an altered mental state, but we're responding to questions and stuff. Um, okay. But anyway, left, gave my statement, gave my info. I got to do a follow up tomorrow because they left me a message while I was in another meeting because I didn't know who was calling. But luckily got alcohol wipes from one of the firemen. Tried to clean up my hands best I could, and hope definitely not a smart move to do it without gloves, but that's just my instinct. I don't know, just being a Marine or an EMT or scene safety is number one, but um, I couldn't let somebody bleed out in front of me, waiting for gloves. So hopefully, I'm all good, but tried to clean up the best I could. But yeah, it just goes to show that, like, even though I thought I was having this horrible morning, um, that I was super late, that all these things, all these events happened for a reason because, like I said, when I got there, there were a bunch of people standing around, but nobody knew what to do. Nobody was doing anything. But, who knows? I mean, the paramedics or the firemen and paramedics arrived like within minutes of me, getting on scene. So their response was really fast, but there was the like the I don't even want to say laceration, but it was deeper than that. But we'll just say laceration was so big, the blood was, coagulating, like it was such a big pool of blood. Um, every second counts. So, I hope this person is still alive and will recover, make a full recovery. Of course, I hope for that. But, definitely, not definitely, but there's a very much higher chance that had I not been there and I just waited for medics, that the outcome could have been a lot more severe. So, and even fatal. So let's hope this person still made it through. I don't know, and I don't think I'll ever find out, because nobody's going to give away patient information, which I totally respect and understand. But yeah, it was interesting. But that was the first 3 hours of my day since I had woken up. And then I was in the middle of a meeting on the phone when that accident happened, and I of course told them I gotta go. Pedestrian was hit. I need to go respond, and I hung up. Like literally, as I was about to get in my car, my buddy was like gonna drive for me. I got a call from my coworker. Hey, is everything okay? Like, are you out of the scene? I said, yes, I literally just exited the scene, about to get in the car. Oh, we really need you in this meeting. So I went from that crazy situation, like, bailed out of a meeting to attend to the patient. As soon as I got out of that crazy, insane situation, jump back in a meeting, context switch to, from like saving lives and gushing blood to talking about software. And then it was like literally three more meetings back to back that I went right into. Also, then context switching to my music business, back to software, and then I got to my destination, unloaded my equipment, put together some industrial shelves that I had brought. Uh, had time for a sip of water and a coffee. Um, Met with a consultant for my new studio. Then went right into another two meetings, I should say, and then another in-person meeting, and then closed up the space. And then the architect called and needed more measurements. So I took those measurements. Luckily, I was just about to leave. Got out of the car. I took more measurements. Went to dinner. Drove back. Got home. Picked up dog poop. Um, Outside, of course. Picked up dog poop because we have a house showing tomorrow. Um, Brought in packages. Checked the mail. Uh, Took care of the dogs. What else? Took a shower, and now I'm here. So it's just like, and now I got a little bit more work to do. I'm sorry to bore you with all that, but that's like a 17-hour day in just about 17 minutes. Um, Absolute madness. My eyes are getting so heavy right now, but when I wake up in less than 7 hours, probably about 6 hours, 6.5 hours, um, I won't have time to do what I got to do before 10 a.m. So I'm probably gonna get up about 7. So then I gotta prep the house for the showing at 10:30, and I have other stuff that I need done by 10. So I'm gonna sign off, go do that stuff, crash for a few hours, wake up, and do it all over again. Hopefully without anybody getting hurt or having to um, stop any bleeding or doing anything like that again. Knock on wood. But yeah. Oh, I'm like making myself tired just thinking about all the stuff that I did today. But I guess it's not too far from my typical day, at least as far as being how packed and crazy context switching. Just the accident definitely threw today for a interesting loop. But again, I think everything happens for a reason, and everything happens when it's supposed to happen. So, I was meant to be late, or late according to what I thought was my plan. Universe had other plans, so glad I was able to help. I hope and hope for the best outcome for the patient and everybody involved. And thanks to the firefighters and medics, EMTs and police that responded like almost instantly, like within a few minutes. Especially with crazy traffic, but yeah, props to them for trying their best to keep us safe. I know there's, people have their own sentiments, but all the public safety people involved were very cordial, very professional, and did their job right on point, the best they could. That's all you can ask for. And that's that. But just as a former BLS instructor with basic life support, I would say if you haven't taken a first aid class or CPR class, or I'd ideally just recommend just go take a first responder class, even if you have nothing to do with medicine, nothing to do with EMS, everybody I think should take a first responder class, just, muscle memory, so you know what to do. Um, some of my muscle memory is a bit out of practice, but, yeah. Well aimed direct pressure, if you remember nothing else. Bleeding, well aimed direct pressure. Don't forget the well aimed part. If you have direct pressure and it's not right spot, it's going to keep bleeding. So, hard, like pressure, stop the bleeding. Um, and also, and this is not medical advice, but this is just whatever, for educational purposes only, or for entertainment purposes, whatever you want to say, whatever the disclaimer is, so I don't get in trouble. But uh, you can look it up. American Heart Association will tell you the same thing. But you've seen the commercial with, what is it, Ken Jeong, the Hangover guy. He's a doctor in real life. He does the staying alive thing, the chest compressions to staying alive. That's the rhythm you want. Um, it's a thing they teach now, compression only CPR, because unless somebody is a drowning victim, so if it's like by a pool, ocean, whatever, most likely they have enough oxygen in their lungs, residual oxygen, that blowing into their mouth is not going to help as much as keeping the blood circulating. Like, there's still oxygen in the blood, so keep the blood circulating by doing chest compressions. So if you only remember, again, this is just my personal opinion, blah, 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 blah. If you only remember two things: well aimed direct pressure for bleeding, don't move the patient unless getting them out of harm's way. Well, actually, sorry. Four things to remember: scene safety, so don't go running into traffic. Okay, then don't don't put yourself in a dangerous situation to save somebody else, because you might not be safe either. You don't need two victims. So scene safety, uh, well aimed direct pressure for bleeding. Don't move the patient unless absolutely necessary. Um, that's weird. Pipes making noise. I said don't move the patient, and then chest compressions. If their hearts stop, they don't have a pulse. And that will take care of a lot of things. Anyway, signing off. Hope you have a nice, safe day out there. Don't drive like a maniac. Look both ways as a pedestrian or a driver, and be careful. Take care.